10 hidden signs a woman is in love with you but scared to show it. Modern Stoic. Love is not about finding the right person, but creating the right relationship. Anonymous. Often, women don't openly express their feelings. The woman who cares for you the most may be the one hiding it the hardest. She could be protecting herself from past hurt, fearing rejection, or simply unsure of how you feel about her. But here's the truth: even when a woman is in love but hesitant to show it, she leaves behind subtle yet unmistakable clues. These signs are often small, so much so that many men overlook them. If you've ever found yourself asking, "Does she feel the same way? Or am I just imagining it?" This is for you. In this guide, we're going to uncover the 10 undeniable signs she's in love with you, yet too afraid to admit it. And trust me, the 7th sign will leave you with no doubt. Let's dive in and explore these hidden signals. 1. She gets quiet or awkward during intimate moments. You must understand this: some of the most powerful emotions leave people speechless. When a woman is falling for you but hasn't gathered the courage to show it yet, even the smallest romantic gestures can feel like a tidal wave of overwhelming emotion. That lingering gaze in her eyes, a compliment that catches her off guard, or a light, playful touch on the arm. These small acts can suddenly shift the entire energy between you two. And that's when she might retreat. When she feels that spark, her response might be to pull back emotionally and physically. She might go silent, laugh awkwardly, or steer the conversation to something safe like work or the weather. You might interpret this behavior as disinterest, but you'd be wrong. The truth is that her feelings are real and raw, and she simply doesn't know how to handle them. You must recognize that in these moments, she is trying to keep her heart under control. It's not that she doesn't want to lean into the connection. It's just that her inner world is in turmoil, and she's unsure how to deal with it. Let's take an example. Imagine the two of you sitting close together, enjoying a pleasant conversation. You drop a casual compliment, saying how beautiful her smile is, intending to make her feel good. Instead of basking in the moment and returning the compliment, she suddenly looks down, fiddles with her phone, or awkwardly changes the subject. You might feel confused, even rejected, but in reality, her heart is racing. She's feeling something deep, but her mind is scrambling for safety. This is a situation where she's emotionally conflicted. On one hand, she feels the connection with you, but on the other hand, she's terrified of exposing herself, of being vulnerable, or worse, of being rejected. So she retreats, using her nervous laugh or distraction as a defense mechanism. This is where modern Stoicism can serve as a guide. The blessing of Stoicism teaches us the power of emotional control, of observing our feelings without letting them dictate our actions. You must remember that she isn't shutting you out because she doesn't care. She's protecting herself. Her fear is real, but it's rooted in the vulnerability that comes with opening up emotionally. This is the delicate dance of the modern Stoic, balancing emotional depth and self-protection. The old Stoic wisdom suggests that the highest virtue is to remain calm, collected, and wise in the face of uncertainty. You mustn't rush her or make her feel pressured. Don't take her retreat personally. Instead, be patient and understanding, showing her that you're someone who is emotionally steady, capable of handling the emotional roller coaster she's going through. In these moments, it's crucial to show her that you're not looking to rush things or force an emotional connection that she's not ready to make. You must embody the modern Stoic approach, remaining calm, composed, and secure in your own emotional stability. Let her take her time. Understand that this is not a sign of rejection. It's simply a sign that she needs more time to process her feelings. Do not act out of desperation or frustration. The blessing of Stoicism will help you see the situation for what it truly is: a woman grappling with her emotions and fears. The old Stoic teachings remind us to be patient with others, recognizing that emotional growth and understanding take time. Don't try to force her to open up before she's ready. Be the steady, understanding presence she can lean on when she's ready to let down her walls. In time, she will realize that you're a safe space for her to be vulnerable. Until then, stay grounded, keep your emotional balance intact, and give her the space she needs. 2. She engages in push-pull behavior. When love is held back, it often creates emotional waves that crash in and then pull away just as quickly. This is a crucial point to understand. When a woman is in love with you but is too scared to fully embrace those feelings, she may unintentionally fall into a pattern of push-pull behavior. One moment, she's texting you first, laughing freely and opening up in conversation, almost as if she can't get enough of your company. The next, she suddenly pulls back, becoming distant, slow to respond, or even emotionally closed off. It's a subtle game, and it's happening not because she's losing interest, but because she's caught in a battle with herself. You must recognize that this pattern is not a sign of manipulation. It's a self-protective instinct at play. Her heart longs for closeness and connection, but her mind, weighed down by the fear of vulnerability and potential heartbreak, whispers warnings in her ear. Her feelings are real, but they scare her. The best way to think of this is like a pendulum. Her emotions swing from one extreme to the other, close, then distant, hot, then cold. She craves the connection, but the vulnerability that comes with it feels like a risk she's not always ready to take. You must know this. These shifts aren't necessarily about you, even though they may feel like a rejection. Instead, they're about her trying to navigate her own internal battle. It's about her fear of getting hurt, the same fear that drives her to distance herself emotionally when things get too close for comfort. For example, after spending a wonderful evening talking and bonding with you, she might suddenly become cold, unavailable, or emotionally distant the very next day, acting as though nothing happened. She'll retreat into her own space, leaving you wondering what went wrong. Don't be fooled. That shift can be incredibly confusing. But it's a sign that she's emotionally overwhelmed and is pulling away to regain control. It's like she's stepping back to get a clearer perspective or simply to protect herself from the intensity of her emotions. The truth is, she feels a deep connection to you. But she also knows how vulnerable she is by allowing herself to fully open up. In these moments, the stoicism you bring to the table matters. The Stoic lessons on patience and emotional composure are invaluable here. You must remain steady and composed, even when her behavior feels like a roller coaster. Don't chase her when she pulls away. Instead, take a step back, keep your emotional balance intact, and let her come to you. Stoicism teaches that the best way to handle these kinds of emotional waves is not to react impulsively, but to respond with calmness and understanding. This doesn't mean that you should ignore her. It simply means that you should approach the situation with wisdom, allowing her to process her emotions in her own time and at her own pace. By embodying a Stoic life, you will send her a signal that you are emotionally stable and capable of handling the complexities of her feelings. You must be the rock in the storm, showing her that you're not going to crumble when she experiences emotional turbulence. In time, she'll realize that you're someone she can trust to handle the depth of her emotions without judgment or haste. You mustn't push her. but don't be passive either. Let her know that you're here for her, offering her the emotional space to move through her fears at her own pace. Remember that the Stoic life isn't about being cold or distant. It's about being strong enough to allow the other person the time and space they need, without rushing them or becoming frustrated. If you recognize this pattern in your relationship, drop a comment right now. I understand the push-pull. Like this video. Subscribe for more unshakable wisdom. And remember, love is powerful, but fear is its greatest opponent. 3. She opens up emotionally in small doses. When it comes to understanding how a woman shows her love, particularly when she is afraid to reveal it, you must look beyond the obvious and delve into the subtle emotional cues. Real emotional connections don't always come in loud, dramatic confessions. More often than not, they start with quiet moments, each revealing a small piece of her soul. It's in these smaller gestures, these fragments of vulnerability, that the truth of her feelings slowly emerges. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." The process of love is not one of grand gestures or fast movements. It's a slow, deliberate, and sometimes painful unveiling. A woman who is in love but afraid to show it will often drop small bits of emotional truth. She won't rush in with a full confession, but instead, she will share parts of herself slowly, testing the waters to see how you'll respond. This is not weakness, this is strategy. She is cautiously feeling you out, ensuring that you are someone who will respect her heart. According to psychology, when someone is emotionally vulnerable but unsure of how they'll be received, they tend to reveal themselves in small doses. It's like opening a door to see if it's safe to walk through. A woman who is afraid to fully expose herself emotionally will often drop a small, personal detail, a mention of something painful in her past, or a glimpse into her deepest hopes for the future. These aren't random moments. Each one is a calculated act of emotional risk. She is showing you a sliver of her inner world, but she's waiting for you to prove you're worthy of more. This isn't an accident. It's a deliberate process that requires patience and understanding. She's trying to gauge if you'll respect her vulnerability. She's trying to determine if she can trust you with more. She's not just testing your patience, but also your character. Will you honor her feelings? Will you prove to be the kind of man who can handle the depth of her heart? Every word she shares is a form of communication. It may seem small, a passing remark or a fleeting glance, but it's never random. She's revealing enough to let you know that there's more underneath the surface, but she's not ready to dive in completely. She needs to see if you can navigate this delicate process with care. Each emotional opening is a small challenge, a test of your ability to connect with her on a deeper level. If you recognize these signs, you're being given an opportunity, a chance to show her that you are the kind of man who will respect her heart, even if it takes time to fully unlock it. Here's where the Stoic principles come into play. As a man, you must show patience, strength, and emotional resilience. Like a Stoic, you must remain calm and confident, understanding that relationships, just like life itself, require time to develop and evolve. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This means that the emotional walls she's carefully built are not obstacles. They are the path to deeper connection. You must approach these walls with patience and strength, acknowledging her vulnerability, not rushing her, and allowing her to reveal herself at her own pace. In a world that often rushes for immediate gratification, this slow, deliberate process might seem frustrating. But remember, the greatest rewards often require the greatest patience. Don't rush to force her into full emotional exposure. Instead, embrace the small steps she takes towards you. Recognize that every little piece of her inner world she shares with you is a trust-building moment. Each piece is like a small victory, one that adds to the foundation of your relationship. Your ability to understand and honor her emotional journey will set you apart. You must be steady in your response, unwavering in your commitment, and always ready to support her, even in the smallest of ways. This is the essence of what it means to master relationships. By showing unwavering patience, by understanding the deeper emotional currents at play, and by being a man of strength and resilience, you can not only win her heart, but also build a lasting and meaningful connection. This isn't about playing games or making grand gestures, it's about understanding the true principles of love, trust, and emotional connection, and applying those principles with the wisdom and resolve of a Stoic. What stands in the way becomes the way. If you are patient, firm, and resolute, you will find that the slow unveiling of her heart is the very path to deeper connection and eventual love. Keep showing her that you are worthy of the trust she's offering, and in time, her love will bloom in full. For she gets nervous around you. When a woman is in love with you but scared to show it, there's a certain kind of nervous energy that fills the air whenever you're near. It's not just awkwardness, it's her heart racing, her mind whirling, trying to keep her emotions under wraps while her body betrays her. A modern Stoic would recognize this. A woman may not say it outright, but her body language screams her feelings, revealing what words cannot. You'll notice her fidgeting with her hair, tapping her fingers incessantly, or perhaps even becoming unusually clumsy. It's almost as though she can't control her own body in the presence of someone she's so deeply invested in. Her voice could waver, crack at the wrong moments, or she might suddenly stumble on her words, forgetting what she was even saying. That's not her being shy or uninterested, no. It's something far more profound. This is the blessing of Stoicism at play, where her feelings are deep but her fear of vulnerability holds her back. The old Stoic would say she's caught between the desire to open up and the fear of being exposed. She doesn't want to be seen too clearly. The thought of laying her heart on the line without knowing how you feel is terrifying. And yet, every nervous glance, every stuttered sentence is her quiet cry for reassurance. She's hoping you'll pick up on the signs, understand her nervousness, and, in some way, offer the reassurance she desperately seeks. So when she's around you, don't mistake the nervous energy for disinterest. It's her way of hiding the intensity of her feelings, of guarding her heart while hoping you'll give her the courage to be open. This delicate balance between emotion and fear is the essence of love that is both tender and vulnerable, a dance that only the most perceptive can truly understand. You must know, this is love in its purest form, where the fear of rejection stands shoulder to shoulder with the hope of connection. Be patient, be observant, and understand that this nervousness is her silent language of affection, a language that you must decipher with the wisdom of the modern Stoic. If you recognize the signs of a woman's nervousness around you, don't ignore them. Like, comment below, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights. Comment with nervous energy is her silent way of saying, I care. 5. She gets jealous but tries to hide it. Jealousy has a quiet way of creeping in, even when someone does their best to suppress it. It's not always loud, it's not always obvious, but trust me, it's there. You don't need to be a mind reader to notice the subtle shifts that give it away. A woman who's secretly in love with you but afraid to show it might not throw a tantrum or make it clear that she's bothered, but her behavior will start to shift in small, undeniable way. 1 minute, she's laughing at your jokes. The next, she's quieter, less engaged, as though something in her has dimmed. It's not anger. It's a complex mix of fear, longing, and restraint, something deeper that you might miss if you're not paying attention. You must recognize this shift for what it is. You must be perceptive. Imagine you're talking about another woman in front of her. Maybe you mention a colleague, a friend, or someone you've recently met. She might look calm on the surface, but look closely. Her words start to taper off. Her energy changes. Suddenly, the atmosphere between you both feels a little more tense, a little colder. Even if she's outwardly composed, that's jealousy quietly simmering underneath, trying desperately not to show itself. A Stoic life is one where emotions are controlled. But even the most disciplined of us can't always hide the subtle human reaction to competition. Stoicism teaches us to keep our emotions in check. But it's a tough lesson when it comes to matters of the heart. Jealousy in this form is usually more about fear than anything else. Fear of losing something precious, fear of being vulnerable, and fear of putting oneself out there, only to be rejected. It's not about being angry with you, but rather an internal struggle, an overwhelming silent battle within herself. According to Stoic lessons, we're all bound to experience moments of emotional discomfort when faced with competition. And this goes for her, too. The more deeply a woman feels for you, the harder it becomes to keep her emotions in check when someone else enters the picture. You must understand, though, that this subtle shift is a sign of love. It's a sign of emotional investment. She doesn't act on the jealousy because she's still guarding herself. She won't tell you that she's bothered, because to admit it would be to show just how much she cares, and she'll internalize it, retreat into herself, and hold her emotions close, like a well-guarded treasure. But if you're observant enough, you'll notice that spark dim just a little. That's the moment she's holding back, not out of disinterest, but out of self-preservation. This is where Stoicism comes into play. A Stoic life isn't about ignoring your emotions, it's about managing them. A woman in love but afraid to show it is living by a modern Stoic philosophy, holding back her feelings to avoid vulnerability. And while Stoicism can help her control her reactions, it doesn't eliminate the emotions themselves. They simply simmer beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment or the wrong trigger to make themselves known. Don't mistake her silence or the subtle shift in behavior for disinterest. It's a protective shield, a way of guarding her heart from the possibility of rejection. It's not easy to hide jealousy, but she's trying. You must pay attention to those small signs. You must recognize that behind every quiet moment, every reserved look, there's a deeper emotion at play. And if you truly care, you'll see through the silence and understand the unspoken language of love and fear. Be patient. Be perceptive. The modern Stoic understands that love is complex and often hidden beneath layers of self-restraint. You must understand it too. 6. She initiates contact but hesitates to go deeper. In the labyrinth of modern relationships, where emotions often hide behind facades, it is crucial to recognize the subtle signs of affection. When a woman loves you but is too scared to show it, one sign you'll encounter is her consistent yet hesitant attempts to reach out. She may initiate contact, whether it's a text, a call to check in, or a lighthearted video just to stay on your radar. But she always keeps things at arm's length. It's not that she doesn't care, rather, her love is in conflict with her fear. She craves your attention and closeness because it gives her comfort, but she hesitates to dive into deeper emotional waters. She understands the risks of exposing her heart, and thus, she stops herself from going too far, not because she doesn't want to connect, but because she fears what that connection might truly mean. Remember, Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This isn't about revenge or games. It's about self-preservation. A woman afraid to reveal her feelings is simply protecting herself from the vulnerability that comes with true emotional intimacy. As men of wisdom, like those who follow the Stoic principles, we must understand that fear is not weakness, but an ancient defense mechanism. You must not confuse hesitation for disinterest. When she keeps things light, it's her way of staying in control, maintaining distance while still trying to stay close. Don't mistake her evasions for rejection, nor her reluctance for a lack of affection. Take the time to recognize that these actions are rooted in fear, not in indifference. You must understand that beneath her actions, she is battling the weight of her emotions. Your task is not to chase her in haste, but to be present, steady, and grounded. Be patient. Don't force her to open up. Instead, let her see that you are not rushing her, but that you are, like the Stoics, calm and in control of your own emotions. By doing so, you create a safe space for her to eventually let down her walls when she is ready. In the same breath, you must remember to apply the wisdom of the Stoic principles to your own actions. Don't be impulsive. Don't seek immediate gratification. That is the way of the wise. By embodying Marcus Aurelius' teachings, you will remain steadfast and composed, an example of strength and emotional maturity. You will be the lighthouse in the storm, the steady presence she needs, helping her navigate her own emotions without feeling overwhelmed by them. Keep your composure. Stay grounded in the present, and watch as the emotional barriers she has built will begin to crumble when the time is right. Always remember, what we do now echoes in eternity, as Marcus Aurelius reminds us. Every calm, measured step you take will leave an imprint on her heart, and eventually, her love will not be something hidden behind walls, but a connection deepened and nurtured. In life, you don't chase after fleeting emotions. You build relationships with patience, wisdom, and resilience. That is how true victory is won. 7. She finds reasons to be near you. When a woman is in love with you but too scared to show it, one of the most powerful and often overlooked signs is her constant proximity to you. Now, this isn't just about being physically close, it's a deeper, subtler signal that she's drawn to you in ways that go beyond casual interaction. It could be that she keeps showing up at the same events, lingers just a little longer than necessary, or mysteriously finds herself in the same room as you, time and time again. Don't be fooled by the casualness of her actions. Her presence is rarely by chance. It's not a coincidence when she lingers by the coffee machine longer than expected or happens to be near you at that work event. What seems like small, insignificant moments is actually a manifestation of her desire to be closer, even if she's not quite ready to expose her feelings. And let's be honest here, gentlemen. She might try to downplay it with a laugh or a shrug, brushing it off as mere happenstance, but there's an undeniable intention behind it all. The truth is, proximity makes her feel a certain sense of comfort and closeness to you, even though she might be scared to fully embrace those emotions. This is where the wisdom of modern Stoicism comes into play. Just as the old Stoics understood the strength in controlling their reactions, she too might be navigating her feelings with restraint, not because she doesn't care, but because she wants to avoid exposing herself prematurely. Her behavior is a blessing of Stoicism, subtle yet intentional, as she tries to balance her emotions with caution. Don't be deceived by her silence or hesitance. The act of being near you, even if she hides it under a veil of casualness, is her way of expressing something deeper. And you, as a modern Stoic, must recognize this quiet sign for what it is. Not dismiss it, but understand the careful dance she's doing between desire and fear. If you see the subtle signs, don't ignore them. Proximity is her quiet declaration of affection. Like, comment below, and share this with someone who might need this wisdom. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights. Comment to remember her closeness is never a coincidence. It's her way of telling you she cares. 8. She gets protective or supportive in subtle ways. Love, especially when it's wrapped in hesitation, often emerges through the smallest gestures, the kinds that might easily slip under your radar if you're not paying attention. When a woman is in love with you but isn't quite ready to voice it, you might find her demonstrating her care and affection in ways that are gentle, quiet, and often hidden beneath the surface. It's not always about big, sweeping declarations or dramatic actions. Instead, it's in the subtle, everyday moments where her love becomes most apparent. Don't expect fireworks. Expect small, consistent acts that convey deep emotion. What you need to understand is this love doesn't always need to be shouted from the rooftops. Sometimes, the strongest feelings are the quietest ones, expressed through acts of quiet protection and support. A woman who loves you but is hesitant to express it will show up for you in the ways that matter most. She may never say the words "I love you," but her actions will scream it loud and clear if you're paying attention. These are not just acts of kindness. They are the silent manifestations of care and concern. Picture this: you're in a conversation, perhaps a group setting, and someone criticizes you unfairly. She doesn't jump up and make a scene, but her body language shifts. Maybe she'll subtly defend your point of view, offering a quiet, measured response. This may seem like a small thing, but it's a massive sign. Don't miss it. She's protecting you without making a show of it. In a world full of grand gestures, this is what true support looks like: quiet, steady, and unwavering. That is the beauty of love in its most authentic form. It's not about standing on top of a mountain, shouting to the world about your feelings. Instead, love speaks softly, especially when it's unsure of itself. It's in those moments when she shows up for you, day after day, in ways that don't seek attention but instead show deep care for your well-being. If you're unsure whether she's in love with you, it's the subtle ways she makes life easier for you that will provide the answer. Pay close attention to those little things, like when she brings you your favorite snack after a tough day, or when she asks about your plans without being asked. Maybe she notices when you've been stressed, and she offers to take something off your plate, like running an errand for you or helping with a task you've been putting off. These acts aren't just thoughtful. They are a sign of deeper affection, a silent promise that says, "I see you. I care about you." Don't mistake this for mere politeness or friendship. It's not just about being nice. The key difference here is that these gestures are driven by something more profound. There is a layer of tenderness that goes beyond casual kindness. It's her way of telling you, without saying a word, that she's thinking about you and wants to make your life easier. These are the acts that will make her love clear. Even if she hasn't voiced it yet, she's showing you that she loves you through her actions, not her words. Let's take a deeper look into these small acts. When a woman loves you, she might become protective in subtle ways. If she sees someone being unfair to you, She may not necessarily raise her voice or make a scene, but there will be a shift in how she reacts. She might gently challenge someone's negative remarks about you or step in to diffuse tension. It may seem like a small thing, but in reality, it's an act of loyalty and affection. The Stoic lessons remind us that true strength lies in quiet support, not in seeking attention for every good deed. That's the true nature of a Stoic life. Showing up, even when no one's looking. Love that's expressed this way speaks volumes. It's about what's not said, not what's said. She might not tell you she loves you outright, but the way she protects your dignity in a conversation, the way she notices when you're stressed or down, and the way she offers help in a quiet, unobtrusive manner. All of these are signs of deep care and affection. You must understand this love doesn't always need to be loud to be real. It's sometimes the smallest gestures, the ones that don't seek attention or applause, that reflect the deepest feelings. Now, for instance, imagine a scenario where you're stressed about a big presentation or a work deadline. She doesn't just say, "Good luck," and leave it at that. Instead, she might offer to help you prepare, whether it's by organizing your notes, offering feedback, or simply asking if there's anything she can do to make your life easier. These are not actions of convenience. They are actions driven by love. It's her way of showing you that she's in your corner, even if she's not ready to say the words. This is love in its most vulnerable form, expressed through quiet, thoughtful actions. You must also understand that this form of love is deeply tied to Stoicism. Stoic principles teach us that true strength is rooted in self-control and calmness, not in flashy displays of emotion. She might not be ready to say, "I love you," but her Stoic nature allows her to show it through her actions instead of her words. A woman who embodies Stoic lessons doesn't seek validation for every act of kindness. She does it because it's what feels right, because it's a natural expression of her care for you. Now, let's talk about consistency, the key element that makes these small acts so powerful. You must pay attention to the way she shows up, not just once, but regularly. She doesn't disappear after one or two thoughtful gestures. Love that's truly invested in you is shown through consistency, the quiet assurance that says, "I'm here for you," day in and day out. The Stoic life isn't about fleeting moments. It's about the ongoing commitment to being present, to making someone's life easier, to standing by them, even when the world doesn't notice. This is where Stoicism and love intertwine. Love, at its core, doesn't demand attention or recognition. It simply is. A woman who loves you may not say it outright, but her every action is a reflection of that love. And as someone who understands the principles of Stoicism, you'll see these actions for what they are, expressions of deep affection and care that don't need to be announced to the world. Don't make the mistake of overlooking these gestures. Love doesn't always have to be loud or dramatic to be real. Sometimes, the quietest forms of affection are the ones that last the longest and mean the most. If you want to understand her love, look for the subtle signs, the little things she does that show she's thinking about you, even when she's not saying a word. Recognize these gestures for what they are, her way of saying, "I love you," without opening her heart completely yet. In the end, Stoic lessons remind us that love, in its purest form, doesn't seek glory, it seeks meaning. And the most meaningful love is often the one that is quietly, consistently shown through actions rather than words. So don't wait for the declaration. Pay attention to the subtle support, the small moments of care, and the ongoing presence she offers. These are the signs of love that speak the loudest, even if they're whispered through the silence. Hey there, thanks so much for watching. If you've noticed any of these signs, it's a good indication that she might be feeling more than she's showing, even if she's a bit hesitant to express it. Remember, love can be tricky, but paying attention to these little clues can make a huge difference. So take it slow, stay patient, and don't be afraid to show your own feelings too. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more insights, and I'll see you in the next one.